You know those random little tics, those little anxiety movements that you've probably had since childhood? For example, chewing on the inner side of your lip, or bouncing your leg, or, you know, like picking at scabs, or biting your nails, or, you know, those little weird things. For me, currently, the only one I have is actually just playing with my beard. Doing this. Now you might think, okay, what the hell, this is gonna be the most yappy video of all time. It's not, and it will go into a deep topic. And this topic is ADHD, literally ADHD and anxiety. And what I will say is doing this actually has pulled out some of the roots of my beard. And like, you do this for long enough and your beard hairs will start falling off, right? So the title isn't clickbait, you scumbag. I want you to pause and think for a second. What is your little tick, right? We're just gonna call it tick, right? Is it bouncing your leg? I remember when I used to play video games for a long time, I'd just be sitting, my legs bouncing. Why? Because my brain is hyper stimulated, loading, buffering. And other people, it's just chew. I used to read like the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books and like chew on the inner side of my lip until it starts bleeding and the flesh would start falling out. And now it's the beard thing. What is it for you? And once you've got this figured out, I want to ask you, why do you think this happens? You like bouncing out or spazzing out randomly. It's not normal. If you think of your old great grandfather, when he sat down, he probably sat down and didn't move a muscle. He did not move a muscle. Yet here you are like biting your nails and like bouncing your leg. You can't really see my leg, but it's bouncing your leg and everything. What is the cause of this? It's purely hyperstimulation. Modern hyperstimulation. Now, in a world where everyone's trying to get ahead, everyone's trying to build businesses, everyone's trying to build bodies, everyone's trying to get laid, everyone's trying to, you know, get the best supplements and the most random shit, all of these thoughts infect your mind and your brain never has a second to rest. It never has a second to rest. And the sleep you put yourself through, well, what happens right before you sleep? You watch some YouTube video, some YouTube gaming video, or you watch some podcast. You sleep with, you know, listening to a podcast, or, you know, you sleep with 30 minutes ago, you're on the screens, right? 30 minutes ago, you're literally on the screen, scrolling, doing business work, and then you just hop into bed. Your brain is chronically overstimulated. And if you have any one of these, like, almost Tourette syndromes, if you have any one of these tics, your brain is not operating at maximum capacity. It isn't, and it never will if you have one of these tics. I cured all of my, the inner like lip biting thing, cured. Bouncing leg thing, cured. The less you hyper-stimulate your brain, the better your life will be. You know when you work and then you all of a sudden don't want to work? It's because your brain is hyper-stimulated. When you're trying to focus on something, but then you can't focus, it's because your brain is hyper-stimulated. It's just a bunch of hyper-stimulation infecting your mind. So what's the solution to this hyper-stimulation then? Well, first we gotta figure out what's hyper-stimulating you. And you would be a fucking liar to me if you said you didn't scroll today. If you said you didn't scroll yesterday. The biggest cause of hyper-stimulation nowadays is scrolling. Scrolling on what? The endless infinite loop. This endless infinite loop is the bane of humanity. It is why kids in schools nowadays can't focus. It is why people at work nowadays can't focus. It is why people, Netflix, I can't wait to get home so I can watch Netflix or just fuck around. It is why people can't focus, and it's why people are chronically depressed. It's so unfortunate. It's brutally unfortunate that people are just chronically depressed, scrolling. You realize that if you cut your screen time in half, your life would just 2x. If you cut your screen time, and I'm not talking like your business work, you know, I'm gonna stop recording videos because technically I'm looking at the screen when I record the audio and I make the script. No, that's not what I'm talking about with screen time. I'm talking about meaningless garbage screen time. The screen time that you know is bullshit. I guarantee, bro, even myself, sometimes these evil like companies, they hook your brains and they force you to scroll, right? Instagram, Snapchat, fucking TikTok. All of these evil Chinese, you know, hyper mind hijacking companies, they know exactly how to pull you from your little, you know, family conversation, open TikTok, and all of a sudden you're in a 3-hour scrolling session. That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about that you want to cut out of your life. Not even just cut out. If you could slowly subtract it, there's such a huge ROI. You know, when you take a trade, the traders know this, right? When you take a trade and it's a really low risk for a very high to reward, super high ROI, That's the case here. If you remove 10 minutes out of your unnecessary and your garbage screen time out of your life 10x's. It's a 1 to 10 risk to reward. Stop scrolling on garbage shit and all of a sudden you'll realize, wait, my beard hairs are falling out less now. I'm not saying I scroll. I don't really scroll. Barely, right? Unless I get attacked. Right? My scrolling time compared to the past is like, it's nothing. It's literally empty. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Literally just remove the scrolling time and see how your mental health 10x's, bro. Right? So this is the experiment, the actionable step that I'm leaving you with. Go find your screen time, comment your screen time on this video, and make it your quest for this week to half your garbage screen time. Then you'll come back to this, like set a reminder, calendar, right? Whatever. Then you'll come back to this video and you'll say, Ali, thank you for changing my life again. You're welcome. If you want more, join Blackthorn. First link in the description. But I promise you this changes everything. Wish not for a lighter load, but for a stronger back.